Scorpio, sensitive soul of quiet depth and emotional strength, this is far more than an ordinary horoscope video. Around May 25th and 26, 2026, something rare begins unfolding beneath the surface of your life, something capable of shifting your path in ways you may not fully understand yet. Take a slow breath and sit with that for a moment. Something meaningful has been moving toward you for longer than you realize, and perhaps your spirit already recognizes the shift before your mind can explain it. This moment feels less like coincidence and more like destiny quietly reaching toward you through unseen emotional currents. Around these days, a powerful, energetic doorway begins opening through Jupiter's expansive force and the deeper transformation already unfolding within you. This feels like more than astrology alone. It feels as though something beneath your life is rearranging itself quietly, and part of you has sensed this change coming for a long time. You are no longer waiting for a sign. The sign is already unfolding around you. Life has been preparing you for this, even through the delays, emotional heaviness, and periods where everything felt uncertain or paused. Those moments were not meaningless interruptions. They were shaping you beneath the surface, teaching you what could survive pressure and what no longer belonged in your future. You were not abandoned. You were being redirected towards something more honest. Deep down, you have always felt there was another layer waiting beneath the life you were living, a truth that kept speaking through dreams, intuition, and quiet moments you could never fully explain. So let me ask you something, Scorpio. Are you finally ready to receive what has been trying to reach you? Because this is more than another forecast. Something deeply meaningful is beginning to awaken within you. The dreams you buried for survival, especially the ones you convinced yourself were unrealistic, are slowly returning with new purpose. And you are not meant to move through this alone. Around this time, a conversation, message, or someone connected to your past may return carrying clarity, support, or understanding you once searched for. Stay emotionally open, because opportunities tied to destiny rarely return the same way twice. Before we continue, I truly want to thank you for being here, for every comment, every kind word, and every moment you spend connected to this space. What forms here goes beyond simple content. It becomes a place where people search for healing, truth, and deeper understanding within themselves. If something inside you already feels awakened by this message, leave the number 525 in the comments below. Let it become your way of saying, I am ready for what is awakening within me. And Scorpio, stay with this video because what begins surfacing from here may touch something inside you that has been waiting a very long time to rise. There are moments when something invisible shifts beneath the surface before anything changes externally. A quiet emotional pull begins moving through you, like deep water slowly stirring beneath stillness. For you, Scorpio, this season around May 25th and 26th carries exactly that feeling. This is not empty spiritual fantasy or simple luck. It is a rare opening that reconnects you with a deeper truth that has always existed within you, waiting for the right time to emerge. Astrologically, Jupiter enters Gemini, bringing expansion through insight, communication, and unexpected connections. This energy widens your awareness and helps you see beyond old emotional patterns. For Scorpio, the transformation begins internally, long before it appears in the outer world. Something long dormant inside you starts waking up, and with it comes a new understanding of yourself and the path quietly unfolding ahead. This energy moves beneath the surface like a tide gaining strength. As Jupiter moves through Gemini, it forms a powerful connection with your inner world, opening space for emotional clarity, deeper perception, and stronger intuition. This is not only mental expansion, it feels like a doorway opening between your conscious mind and truths your spirit has protected for years. As Venus moves closer to Pluto, the energy deepens even further. Jupiter expands your awareness outward, while Pluto works quietly within, touching emotional layers you rarely reveal to anyone else. Together, these energies awaken not only your dreams, but also the fears connected to becoming the person those dreams require you to be. The parts of yourself that learn to stay quiet, hide your intensity, or become smaller for survival, begin slowly rising back into view. This alignment asks a difficult but necessary question. Are you ready to reclaim the version of yourself you buried in order to survive? Scorpio, people often recognize your strength before they understand your sensitivity. Yet beneath your calm exterior lives someone who has carried deep emotional truth in silence for a long time. This moment is not asking you to become someone new. It is asking you to stop abandoning who you already are. None of this is about ego or performance. It is about timing that feels deeply meaningful in the way it arrives. If your life has felt suspended between endings and beginnings, there is a reason for that. Around May 25th and 26th, your struggles, hidden gifts, and quiet hopes begin moving toward the same emotional current at once. Something inside you starts recognizing that you are more ready than you once believed. Real spiritual growth rarely arrives through chaos or dramatic signs. More often, it enters quietly through timing, through conversations, realizations, or unexpected moments that suddenly change how you see yourself. The difference between ordinary moments and transformative ones is often readiness. And readiness begins when you recognize what your soul has been trying to show you all along. Perhaps you already feel this energy moving through you. A memory returning unexpectedly, an old dream resurfacing, or an emotion becoming vivid again after years of silence. This is not your imagination drifting backward, it is your inner world responding to something deeper. As Jupiter moves through Gemini and Venus approaches Pluto, the quiet voice inside you grows stronger, asking you to trust what your intuition already understands. Do not fear your own depth, Scorpio. You are not being asked to rush towards certainty or have every answer immediately. What matters now is your willingness to slow down enough to notice what is changing within you. There is a reason you found this message at this exact moment. What is unfolding here is not simply information, it is revelation, the kind that reshapes your inner world before it changes anything around you. So allow yourself to sit with whatever is rising now. Ask yourself honestly what truth you are finally ready to face, what desire you can no longer ignore, and what old story has finally lost its hold over your life. Because on the other side of this emotional doorway is not only a different chapter, but a different way of understanding yourself completely. Some transformations do not arrive loudly. They appear softly, like a familiar voice returning through sill. Scorpio, the star, Judgment, and the Ace of Swords are moving together now like quiet currents beneath still water, guiding you toward a version of yourself that has waited beneath the surface for a long time. These energies do not arrive through chaos or dramatic signs. They move softly, carrying truths your spirit may finally be ready to hear. The star comes first, bringing healing to the places where disappointment once convinced you to stop believing in yourself. This is not fragile hope, untouched by pain. It is the deeper kind that returns after exhaustion, after heartbreak, after seasons where you questioned whether your dreams still belong to you at all. If there is something you abandoned because the timing felt wrong or the world could not understand it, this message asks you to look again. That dream never disappeared. It went quiet beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to rise again with stronger roots and clearer purpose. Judgment enters not to shame you, but to awaken you. It asks you to look at your past with compassion and understand that the version of yourself you outgrew was never wrong, only unfinished. This energy appears when you are finally ready to answer something deeper than logic, something you feel in your chest long before you can explain it with words. And once that inner call becomes clear, it becomes harder to continue living only at the surface of your life. Then the Ace of Swords cuts through confusion with sudden clarity, like lightning briefly illuminating dark water. Truth may arrive through something simple, a conversation, a line in a book, a memory returning differently, or a message from someone unexpected. This energy brings more than mental clarity. It gives you permission to stop avoiding the truth you already feel inside yourself. And once you allow that truth to guide you, real transformation begins. Together, these energies offer more than change. They bring back the part of you that once believed fully in who you were before fear taught you to hide pieces of yourself away. This is not just another opportunity repeating itself. It feels like a genuine beginning, because this time your foundation is built from experience, emotional honesty, and everything life has already taught you. In everyday life, this may appear through an old dream resurfacing, a connection returning with new understanding, or a path you once feared suddenly feeling right again. An opportunity that slipped away may quietly return, but the difference now is that you are no longer the person who once doubted your ability to hold it. Even if you do not know how to respond immediately, this moment asks for awareness, not impulsiveness. Pay attention to the conversations unfolding around you. Notice how your body responds when certain names return or familiar places suddenly carry different emotional weight. The deepest transformations often begin quietly, through whispers rather than force. And those whispers are not random. They come from the version of yourself already waiting on the other side of courage. Sometimes life changes through moments so subtle you almost miss them. A feeling that lingers longer than expected, a quiet voice within you saying, "Pay attention." And for you, Scorpio, this season carries exactly that kind of energy. Beginning around May 25th and 26th, quiet shifts start unfolding beneath the surface of your life. At first they may seem unrelated, but they are connected through a deeper emotional thread your spirit has been moving toward for longer than you realize. Something that once felt lost begins finding its way back to you, perhaps through a familiar name, an unexpected message, or a reconnection that feels strangely well-timed. This may involve someone you drifted away from, or a connection that disappeared just as it became meaningful. But what returns now is not arriving to reopen pain. It comes carrying something your spirit needs, whether that is understanding, trust, support, or peace you did not realize had faded from your life. At first, you may feel tempted to retreat behind old emotional defenses, yet this season asks for discernment instead of fear, and openness instead of control. Not long after, another part of your life begins resurfacing, a dream, a path, or a forgotten version of yourself that you once set aside because life became too heavy to carry it forward. What once felt unrealistic now returns with structure, direction, and support around it. The timing has changed, but more importantly, so have you. And this time, you are not carrying everything alone. Someone enters this chapter with genuine understanding, recognizing the depth in you that you once felt pressured to hide. They are not trying to change your intensity, they see value in it, and they want to build something meaningful beside you. As this unfolds, your presence begins affecting people naturally, without force or performance. You stop chasing validation, and life begins responding differently. People listen more closely because your energy feels grounded and emotionally clear. There is quiet power in no longer trying to prove yourself. And when you choose peace over emotional struggle, the universe begins rearranging things around you in subtle but undeniable ways. Even if this feels surreal, remember that grace rarely arrives dramatically. Sometimes it looks like a door quietly opening after years of silence, because you finally became still enough to hear it. These moments do not ask for perfection. They ask only for presence and honesty. What part of yourself are you finally ready to reclaim, not for approval, but because it has always belonged to you. This deeper transformation does not arrive through chaos, but through slow internal rebuilding that changes your life, one conversation, one decision, and one act of emotional courage at a time. And if uncertainty still lingers, let stillness guide you instead of fear. You do not need immediate answers. You only need to trust what your soul keeps recognizing. Let this become the season where you stop mistaking stillness for stagnation. Real power does not always arrive loudly. Often it appears through emotional steadiness, clarity, and the courage to remain connected to yourself even when life feels uncertain. And when that shift happens within you, life begins recalibrating around the truth you are finally willing to live. Scorpio, you are stepping into a kind of alignment that changes everything quietly from within. Real transformation rarely begins through dramatic revelations. More often, it starts through small moments: a breath before reacting, a pause before speaking, a decision to listen inward instead of chasing outside noise. Around May 25th and 26th, what matters most is not only what you do, but the emotional energy you carry while doing it. During periods like this, your inner state becomes a compass. The rituals woven into your daily life slowly begin shaping the reality your spirit has been moving toward. You are not being asked to reinvent yourself overnight. This season asks only for presence, intention, and honesty. Begin simply. Give yourself a few quiet minutes every morning that belong only to you. Close your eyes and rest your hand over your heart. Breathe in as though you are welcoming a future your spirit already senses approaching, and breathe out as though you are releasing old versions of yourself that no longer need to define you. Tell yourself softly, "I am being prepared for something meaningful." Even if doubt still lingers, continue speaking those words until fear begins loosening its grip. Movement matters too, but not through pressure or exhaustion. Let your body reconnect with calm through slow walks, stretching, or quiet moments beneath the morning air. Scorpio, emotions often settle deep within the body without us noticing. When you move with softness instead of urgency, some of those hidden emotional stories finally begin releasing. What you nourish yourself with matters as well. Simple grounding foods, fresh greens, herbs, and omega-3 rich foods can support emotional steadiness and clarity during this cycle. You are aligning yourself slowly from the inside outward, one small act of care at a time. Colors may affect you more deeply now too. Blue tones can quiet mental noise and strengthen intuition, while silver and soft white remind you that every ending quietly carries a new beginning within it. Rose and violet shades may soften emotional armor you no longer need to carry so tightly. This is not a season for proving your strength through struggle. It is a season for allowing grace and emotional honesty to move through you naturally. The numbers 22 and 11 may also begin appearing around you more often. One reminds you that your life is building towards something meaningful, while the other brings intuition closer to the surface. But the deepest shift may not come from signs at all. It may come from the simple decision to move through this week with more trust, softness, and emotional awareness than before. You do not need every answer right now. You only need enough faith to take the next honest step in front of you. And if your spirit feels tired from carrying too much alone, let this become the season where you finally allow yourself to receive again. Not only guidance, but peace. The deepest miracles rarely arrive through chaos. Sometimes they begin as quiet shifts beneath the surface and slowly become the very thing your heart has been searching for all along. And often, the moments that transform us most deeply arrive when life feels uncertain or emotionally unraveling. Not because we forced change into existence, but because we finally loosened our grip enough to let something new emerge. Scorpio, you understand better than most the delicate balance between surrender and emotional strength. And many life-changing moments begin through one small act of trust. There is a story I want to share with you now, not as instruction, but as a reflection of what becomes possible when you allow grace to find you. She was a Scorpio woman who had built a life that once felt deeply connected to her spirit. She poured herself into a creative business, created a home filled with meaning, and cared deeply for the people around her. But like many who carry their struggles quietly, her life began unraveling slowly before everything seemed to collapse at once. The economy shifted, opportunities disappeared, and the business she had spent years building started slipping away beneath her feet. Not long after, she lost her home. A relationship she thought would remain in her life faded into silence, leaving behind more than heartbreak. She lost not only stability, but also the identity she had tied to everything she created. For months, she pushed herself harder, trying to regain control through effort, exhaustion, and constant searching for answers. Yet the more she forced things, the more disconnected from herself she became. Then something unexpected happened. On a cool morning around May 25th, 2026, she opened an email from someone she never thought she would hear from again, a former competitor she once viewed with distance and caution. The message was simple. Would you be open to creating something together? I think we could build more side by side than separately. Every instinct inside her wanted to retreat, analyze, and protect herself from disappointment. But instead of closing off, something inside her softened, not because she suddenly felt certain, but because she was tired of carrying everything alone. For the first time in a long while, she stopped trying to control every outcome before allowing herself to feel possibility. Quietly, she said yes. That single choice changed more than she expected. Within months, they created something together that honored her creativity without draining her spirit. Stability slowly returned, but the real transformation happened within her. Her clarity returned, her confidence returned. Even joy, which she thought had disappeared completely, slowly found its way back into her life. She also reconnected with people she loved in a more honest and grounded way. Old emotional wounds softened, and parts of herself she had hidden away for survival no longer felt so heavy to carry. Love returned too, not as fantasy or performance, but as a calm and steady presence that allowed her to feel safe, being fully herself. Later, she shared a message that stayed with many people who read it. She wrote, "The moment I stopped trying to control everything, life slowly began opening again beneath my feet. I had fought so hard that I couldn't see the possibility already trying to reach me. When I finally trusted the process, I found myself exactly where I needed to be." Stories like hers happen more often than people realize. They arrive quietly through conversations, messages, and moments we almost dismiss because they do not look dramatic enough to call miracles. And no matter what people choose to call that guiding force, intuition, faith, the universe, or something deeply personal, the truth beneath it stays the same. Sometimes life moves most clearly when we finally loosen our grip enough to let it. So if you are standing in uncertainty right now, Scorpio, do not pressure yourself to rebuild everything through logic alone. Leave room for what feels emotionally right, even if it does not match the plans you once imagined. Because sometimes transformation begins with something very small. One unexpected message, one emotional opening, one quiet yes. And when that moment arrives, may your heart be soft enough to recognize it. Sometimes the miracle is not lightning in the sky. Sometimes it begins quietly within you, through the slow awakening back to yourself again. Scorpio, as you stand at this quiet threshold around May 25th and 26th, pause for a moment. Not to search outside yourself for more signs, but to listen to the voice within you that has been speaking all along. That voice has followed you through every longing, every dream you buried too soon, every moment your intuition told you to wait. And maybe now you are beginning to understand that it was never guiding you away from yourself, it was guiding you back home. You are not simply searching for meaning, you are learning to trust the deeper emotional current moving beneath your life. Every intentional pause, every honest yes or necessary no, every moment you choose your truth over outside pressure becomes part of this transformation. This is how destiny unfolds, quietly and steadily, through alignment with what your spirit has always known. The beauty of this season is that you do not need every answer right away. You are only being asked to become more present, more open, and more willing to trust what your intuition has been revealing. Can you begin your mornings with stillness instead of urgency? Can you speak your dream aloud again, even if your voice still shakes? Can you open your heart to the people returning now, not because the past was perfect, but because you are no longer the same person you once were? This is your invitation to move forward with trust instead of fear. Let this season be remembered not for how quickly things changed, but for how deeply you rooted yourself into your truth. Scorpio, you no longer need to chase transformation. In many ways, you have already become it. So now ask yourself honestly, what truth are you finally ready to live? What part of yourself are you ready to reclaim after all this time? And are you willing to release the version of yourself built only around survival so you can step closer to who you were always becoming underneath it all? If your heart feels ready, leave this affirmation in the comments below. I trust what is awakening within me on May 25th and 26th. Let it become more than words. Let it become a promise you quietly make to yourself. And if this video stirred something deep inside you, share it. Someone else may need your words at exactly the right moment. Remember this before we continue. You are not moving through this season alone. Spaces like this exist so people can reconnect with themselves through healing, reflection, and emotional truth. Thank you for being here, for trusting this message, and for allowing your inner light to rise again after everything you have carried. And if you have not already, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and leave your comment below, not only to support this space, but to honor your own unfolding journey. Scorpio, this is not an ending. It is the quiet turning of an inner page, and what comes next will be written from the truth you are finally ready to live from.